suppose it's probably appropriate, since here in the United States you're on the eve of Thanksgiving, that holiday when you eat a lot of food and get together with people you know and be grateful. We think often in that order. But at least you got a holiday for being grateful on your calendar. And the question is, what are you grateful for? Now, before you go and answer with some tired, trite, smarmy BS, because really, a lot of the stuff sounds like a Hallmark card, not like real life to us. We've seen you all for years now. We look at your energy. You can't lie to us. Not energetically. So when you ask yourself, what am I grateful for? You know, you want to say, oh, that I'm healthy. Yeah, except for those days that my back hurts, and I'm really not grateful for that. Instead of being grateful for health, be grateful for having a body in the first damn place. That one you can always be grateful for. Even if it hurts, or it feels old, or fat, or smelly, or tall, or short, or whatever you don't like about it, having one. Foundational gratitude is what we'd like to talk to you about. I'm so grateful I have a family, until they piss you off. Then we sense a little not being grateful. So how about I'm grateful I have community? There's always someone that you're happy that you have in your life. And there's always someone you're sort of annoyed with, or mad at, or flat out pissed off at. Foundational gratitude is more interesting to us because it can more consistently be enjoyed. Right? Even those of you who love your family so much, you just love them, love them, love them. Sometimes you don't, and that's okay. That whole reevaluating the relationship thing and saying, today I'm not getting as much out of this as I got the day before, at least not stuff I prefer, maybe stuff that I'm learning from. I'm grateful for community. I'm grateful for the experience of having a body. I'm grateful for the fact that I have food. Or I'm grateful for the fact I have a home. Foundational gratitude is so powerful, and it's really interesting because a lot of times maybe you've been taught by other spiritual teachers that it's good to be really grateful in specific ways, right? Kind of the vision board idea. Like I'm going to be having these specific visions or these specific emotions that I'm going to explore. And that can be extremely valuable. But right now at your current evolutionary place, we think it's very interesting to have those foundational gratitudes that aren't exactly tied to specific personalities and aren't tied to specific situations and certainly aren't tied to specific sums of money, but foundational gratitude. Because what you're really doing is contending with the survival instinct every moment of every day. And the more and more and more we look at the survival instinct and the different ways the survival instinct appears to you, the more and more we see that it gets very, very, very primal, very, very, very fast. And on a primal level, to have foundational gratitude about primal level things is energetically very powerful, very shifting. So it's well and good to say, I'm very grateful for my car. What we would like to say is it'd be very interesting for you guys, maybe just this year, to study being grateful for the fact I can move around in the world, right? Rather than being grateful for specifics, see if you can make yourself grateful for larger things, but more foundational. Like we said, instead of being grateful that you're healthy, be grateful that you have a body, right? Instead of being grateful that you can live in a pretty town like Sonoma or wherever it is you live, maybe you can be grateful for the fact that you have shelter. Right? Instead of I'm grateful because I like this XYZ, it's take it to a very survival-y place and ask yourself, how does this thing that I'm grateful for contribute to survival? And how can I express gratitude from a survival level? Now, why in the world will we have you do this? We have you do this because anytime we can look at the survival instinct in a new way and mature your relationship to the survival instinct, it's going to make ascension and evolution easier. Because the scream of the survival instinct is unconscious. It's an extremely unconscious scream. And every little chip off bit that you can do to get closer to being completely conscious about the activities of the survival instinct in your life is going to make a big difference in how you walk the ascension journey. So here, being grateful on a very survival level. Now that might be extremely triggering. It might be extremely triggering to you to talk about gratitude about a very survival level stuff. And if it is, well, that's something more to learn about yourself. But there's something very powerful about gratitude for mere survival, or utter survival, or the act of survival. So it's not, let's be grateful for this beautiful meal. Let's be grateful that we're not starving. We don't like that one exactly, but the sense of you're grateful because today you've gathered with a bunch of friends and you have this meal that's extravagant and lovely, and that you had the assets to create it, and the home and the money and the food and the grocery stores and the people and all that stuff. And that's a neat level to be grateful for, and you've done that for 40 years. How about being grateful on a very primal level? There is food in front of me. I will not starve today. I will not go hungry tonight. See what new things that tells you about yourself to be grateful on that level. And don't be surprised if it makes you weep. Because when you really allow yourself to experience survival level gratitude, it's a whole different nitty-gritty way of experiencing the world. Now, many people live this way all the time, and we're not comparing you to them. And sure, many people on the East Coast are living this right now, and they're learning a lot about themselves. So don't fall for the trap of like, oh, it's ungrateful to only be grateful on a survival level because I have abundance. We're not talking about abundance at this point. What we're talking about is maturing your relationship to the survival instinct, so that you will get to know your survival instinct more deeply and have more clarity about when your survival instinct is in charge and when it's not. Because when your survival instinct is in charge, it's extremely unconscious and habitual. And this exercise, we believe, can help you get a read on your survival instinct. Because we'll tell you, you sit down at an abundant meal with a bunch of people and you're under a roof and you're dry and you have clothes, and really what all that's adding up to is, I'm not dying right now. But you'll say, I'm grateful for the people in my life that I love, and you make it about love or connection or family, when really it's about survival. And all those things make survival more likely. But it's about survival. And at that survival level, you can learn a lot about yourself, not going down to having nothing and trying to survive, having plenty and still recognizing that the plenty is meeting survival instinct. We're not sure if we sold anybody on this idea, but we think it would be powerful if you gave it a shot. So there you go. Off and be grateful. Mm-hmm.